That is rocking.
Fantastic. Better than what I expected. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. It was indeed engaging. All right. I think, Nagesh, before you actually strangle me, that I'm taking away too much of your time, let me do a quick intro for you. Let me set the red carpet for you, right? You deserve it. You earned it for yourself. All right, guys. So our next speaker is somebody who will leverage this amazing art of storytelling to entice the Scrum Masters in our lot to join him on his voyage introducing the core concepts and shared vocabulary, as well as some tips and techniques as well that will demonstrate how radical candor can become an integral part of team success at work. Now, in his vast and diverse experience of 17 years, he exhibits all the qualities of an experienced trainer and enterprise agile coach. He's also an active speaker at international conferences. And just to name a very, very few of them, you could see him as a speaker in Scrum Day Europe, Scrum Day Germany, Scrum Day India, Agility Today. Let's try to name all of them because it's going to take a lot of time. But then over to you, Nagesh. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such an exciting introduction. And I'm very humbled and honored to be speaking here. Thank you so much, Agile. Wow. Thank you so much, Sanjay. And special thanks to Harshika for such an awesome and warm welcome. So let me share my screen first. And I hope everybody is enjoying the conference. I have a small quiz again. So I have a Menti quiz for all of you. So I hope you are able to see my screen. So I would like you to go to menti.com and type in this code 1842 and 46. You may also use this grid, and you can also scan this bar, and also you can type this code. And once you get in there, there is a small question, and I would like you to answer that question, right? So let me know once you are there, and I will know. Let me see how many people joined that. As of now, I see one person. Very good.
And that's me.
So we have 8 people who have done it. 9. Good. 18. Fantastic. It's interesting to see the radical distribution of this randomness. 42. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 52. Okay, so we had like 52 people, and we had the distribution. Let me 1 minute very quickly see how it was. Something went wrong, but what I can see was that there was quite a lot of distribution, and there was quite a lot of distribution on the top side, which is the top left side, and there were a lot of people who are on the borders. So what this was, so let me introduce you to a concept called radical candor, and I call that as a Scrum Master's compass. So what is this? So let me say that if I have x-axis, which is challenge directly, and if I have y-axis, which is care personally, and where we try to see that the low levels and the high levels, so extreme low and extreme high. So most of the people I was seeing were on this verge, this piece where we have a borderline between, the first quadrant and the second quadrant, which I call as radical candor. So by the way, why this is called a Scrum Master Compass? Because as the compass job is to help you, give you direction to pointing towards the true north, I believe that this has the same kind of gravitas. So how did I get to know about this? I read a book from Kim Scott, and that is about Radical Candor, and I'm going to give you more insights about that. So what does this say? This says that if you as a Scrum Master or a leader, you care personally for people. At the same time, unfortunately, you are very silent. Imagine you have a team member, and this team member is always delayed for the daily scrum, and the development team is really struggling hard because all the members, they are attending the daily scrum, but this person is always late. Now they come to you as a scrum master, and the scrum master now wants to have a meeting with this person because the team tried, nothing worked out, and now the scrum master is really very caring, very empathetic, wants to really talk to this person, being very respectful, but also thinking that, you know what, whether if I say directly, it might really hurt this person's feeling. So what are you trying to do is you are ignoring the problem. Your ignorance, that means you are nice, but unhelpful feedback. It is even damaging. It is even damaging for the team. Let us exactly look into the opposite. And the opposite is that you are a Scrum Master who is challenging directly to the people. But at the same time, you do not show empathy. You do not show respect. You are very low on respect. That means you are rage. That makes people defensive. Imagine you going to the team member who is again the daily Scrum person, we'll take same persona, and saying that, hey, you know what, Rahul, I don't like this behavior. You've been always late to the daily Scrum, and I want you to correct this from tomorrow. And because there is no context that you're directly telling, and this person might become defensive. That means your message is clear, but not kind. In the first quadrant, we called it as ruinous empathy. Most of the people, irrespective of the cultures of different companies or different countries, the author of the book says that we fall into this zone. We want to be nice to people. Unfortunately, our feedback is not candid enough. Few people, they are too direct, but unfortunately, they are not able to create a connection with the people. There is a third quadrant, and which is a very toxic quadrant. And that quadrant is manipulative insincerity. What does that mean? That means I neither care personally, nor I challenge directly, which means there is no trust with the team. There is a situation of mistrust. And then my message is neither clear nor kind to the people. If I have to give you some more analogy, then manipulative insincerity, where there is low levels of courage and low levels of respect. And this analogy I'm drawing with Scrum Values, right? I say challenge directly is courage and care personally as respect. When you have low levels of respect and courage, that means that you are actually backstabbing people. This is like creating more political situation. When you have high levels of courage, but then low levels of respect, it's obnoxious aggression. This is front stabbing. That's the difference between these two. So what we want is our ability to make our conversations channel in such a way that we can actually move from defensive, mistrust, and ignorance to a zone which is based on high levels of caring personally and challenging directly. This is high courage and high respect. This is the zone of growth. This is where we have feedback that is kind, clear, specific, and sincere. This is radical candor. This is the true north. I have a question for all of you. What in Scrum can help navigate conversations from all the rest of the three quadrants to the radical candor? And here is how we would like to do that. I would like you all to think 1 minute alone in your minds, or a small writing gear or your notepad. Hey, what in Scrum can really help me to have high courage and high respect, which means I'm not really trading off one for other, and I can have a more candid conversation, which is respectful as well as courageous. So what in Scrum can provide me? So 1 minute alone, and then I would request the panelists to help me with the breakout. Then we would like these people to join somebody else. We are going to do 1, 2, 4 all, and I hope we will be able to do that. Amit?
No, Nagesh, I think it won't be possible in a webinar mode.
Okay.
So breakout will not work here.
Okay, breakout will not work here. So which is still fine. So what we would like to do in that case is, I would like you all to access this mural, and I hope that should be possible. I'm going to be copying this mural, and I would like you to go here and add certain sticky notes to say that what in Scrum can really help. So I'm going to put that here. You can join anonymously, and that should be perfectly fine. So just go here, do a double click, and add some sticky notes. What in Scrum can really help us so that we can have conversations which can be guided through radical candor. So how can we navigate from mistrust, ignorance, and defensiveness?
So Nagesh, it looks like that you have sent it to just the panelists. You may want to send it to the attendees also.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me do that again. So this is for all panelists and the attendees. Yeah. I'm just adding some sticky notes here so that people can probably use them as well. And while you are writing some things, I would highly encourage you to focus on a couple of things, which are 3 + 3 + 5, the 3 roles, the 3 artifacts, the 5 events, and what else in Scrum is there which can really help us to move there. So I see that a lot of things are coming in, which are inspection, adaptation. I also see people talking about empathy, making vulnerable, great ideas. I'm still missing something which I'm really looking forward to that. Empowerment, trust. Acceptance criteria, that's interesting. Serving team's interest about individual. I see people adding some more things like courage, inspection, adaptation, sprint review, inspect and adapt. Looks like Scrum has all the elements which can really help you to deal with the situation. Huh? Good. Psychological safety, trust, transparency, empowerment. So what I would like to say is, for me, when I look into this, that how can I really, because if I would like you to take this particular model, this is very complementary to Scrum, as a mirror. And many times it happens that we are into a state of, trading off one value for other, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because of some business pressures, we are sometimes in a situation where we are too loud to people. We are losing kindness. Sometimes we want to be too nice to people. We do not have enough courage to have courageous conversations. But that is the moment of vulnerability, and that is the moment of truth to say that, hey, you know what? I might want to navigate and I might want to use the actual DNA of Scrum. And what is the DNA of Scrum? The DNA of the Scrum is this, right? So here is a googly. That means the radical candor was never the compass, right? That was a means to achieve at the compass, and the real compass is Scrum Values. Scrum Values is the DNA of the framework. Scrum Values for me is the DNA of the Agile transformation, right? The focus, openness, respect, courage, and commitment. And most often when organizations are moving ahead with Agile transformation, there is a huge emphasis on courage. There is a huge emphasis on courage. Everybody wants to build courageous organization, courageous, everybody wants to have courageous conversations. Even empirical process control theory talks about trust and courage. But where the people trade off is respect. I always say that the Scrum Values are like 5 fingers. Which one would you choose? Which is your favorite? So I think fist of 5, right? Fist is more powerful. So I would say that at any given point of time, one value doesn't compete with other. So this is the real compass. This is the real compass. And radical candor is a means to understand that Scrum Values is important. So that was a very short presentation which I wanted to do, actually. So here is some more information. If you want to know more, I would like to thank Scrum.org. I would like to thank Radical Candor. The book by Kim Scott. Kim Scott is a great author. The book has great ideas of moving away from each quadrant and moving more towards the radical candor, right? That's pretty much about me. If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to take your questions.
Harshika, I think you're on. Oh, yeah, Mega, go ahead. Looks like you were on mute.
I do see 2 people with their hands raised. Is it? So I'll call them out and maybe they can ask their questions themselves.
Please
so
do.
The first one is Pranali Dhote. I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but please go ahead. Pranali? Can you hear us? You must be on mute. You are still on mute. Okay. I think we'll get to them a little later. The other one who has raised their hands is Rahul Joshi. So, Rahul, can you unmute and call out what you wanted to ask? Rahul?
I think, Megha, let's take up Mohammad's question. He's already written.
Sure. Awesome. So I'll let Mohammed talk.
Hi, Nagesh. Am I audible?
Yes, Mohammed, go ahead.
Yes. Thanks, Nagesh. It was very short and very powerful technique, I would say. Thanks for that. I'm just curious. I also firmly believe that Scrum Values are the cornerstone for success in terms of embracing it in a true essence. But however, each organization is unique and have their own set of organization values. I'll just share my perspective. Please correct me if my understanding is wrong. I try to, however, I see most of the values are aligned to the 5 values that Scrum has. Should we go that way, or is there something else that you would like to bring upon to the table?
I have learned from my experience, Mohammed, is that we are not wanting to choose your organization values versus Scrum values. That's never the case. The whole idea is that hey, we are all working with, say, for example, you're working for an organization, your organization wants to create an impact. How Scrum values can really help your organization in reaching your organizational goals, in creating an impact to the society. So I would always see Scrum values as a means for your organization to achieve the greater goal. Right? So it always consumes Scrum values. I would never seek Scrum values as a competition or choose which is better, right? This or this. Never the case. I would always see Scrum values as complementary to any values which any organization might be having it. And this is going to be instrumental. This is like a tool for you for succeeding.
Thanks, it helps.
Thank you, Mohammed.
We have Alberto as well. Alberto, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hi, Albi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Nagesh. It's wonderful listening to you again. My question is this: how do you handle a situation whereby the person in question, you want to have a radical candor, is your senior in an organization and is responsible for your appraisal?
That is a very powerful question. How would you help your senior in your organization to demonstrate radical candor? Is that the question, Albi?
Yeah, no, you are the one giving that feedback, have to give that radical candor, to provide it, and the person in question is a senior to you, and the person is responsible for your appraisal.
So,
That will give you a promotion. How do you handle that?
Albi, I would keep it very, very simple. I always, whenever somebody asks me that, hey, how do you teach someone courage? How do you teach someone respect? I would say that demonstrate courage, demonstrate respect. The only way I can inspire someone to adopt radical candor is by demonstrating radical candor myself. I become vulnerable first, right? This is the principle which I have experienced. I have been living throughout my life, that I become vulnerable, I show it to people, and then people adopt. I cannot teach people something which they do not want to. I cannot motivate anyone. I can only give inspiration for them to find the motivation. So I would probably talk to the boss and say that, hey, you know what? Here is how I'm demonstrating with my teams, and this is the impact which I am seeing on that. So what do you think about it? Do you also show radical candor? And then we'll have a conversation.
Thank you, Nagesh.
Thank you, Al.
Nagesh, we have another one for Harmanpreet. So he's asking that there is a situation wherein the Scrum Master is asking the team to do a certain practice, which essentially is something that the Agile coach has told them to pursue. He says they are not getting a choice whether, if that suits their team or not. He's asking, what should a team do in such a situation? Should they actually take a chance that the process might be helpful and, eventually or gradually they would see benefits in it? Or should they actually come across and, take a stand as a challenge that?
You know what? This is an interesting question, Harshika. And you know what? For me, doesn't matter where the message is coming from, whether the Scrum Master is telling me, or the Agile coach is telling me, or the CEO is telling me. But what really matters to me is the values and principles. If my actions as a team member are not aligned with Scrum values, then that is probably not professional from my perspective as a development team member. So I would keep these two things decoupled. Who is telling me what? I would say that, you know what, my daily actions, are they aligned with the values and principles? If answer is no, then irrespective of whoever tells me what, I am doing something which is not professional. But if my actions are aligned with the values and principles, even if the whole world is against me, I will stand by that. So that is something which I would say, that it's not the persona which is important. It is the values and principles which are key. And that's me. And right, that's how I deal with it.
Perfect, Nagesh. I'll take one more because it's on similar line. It's by Samik, and he's asking that when there is an organization goal which actually does not seem to add any value in either the person's growth or in terms of the job responsibilities, he's asking, how do I convince my immediate supervisor or somebody who's actually responsible for the appraisal that not want to align themselves to that goal?
So I would say that I would like to have a long discussion with this person. Not something which I can answer in a very short duration of time. But only thing which I would say is the most toughest questions have the most simplest answers, Harshika, right? Because the world is complex, but the way we deal with that complexity is by looking for simplicity, by being empirical, by living the values day in, day out. As Ken says in Scrum Guide, the successful implementation of Scrum depends upon the people living these Scrum values day in, day out. So I will again come back and say that whatever you do, your intent drives your behavior and your behavior drives your impact. So always work towards the intent and rest will be taken care. And as I said, I would be more than happy to take this long discussion with the question.
Perfect. Then I'll let Samit know that he needs to reach out to you offline. All right.
And we have a breakout session coming up after it. So in Nagesh, if you are available, then that would be great.
Sure. After Barry's session, sure. I think we still have a couple of minutes, so maybe just one more question, Nagesh, that we can pick up. It's by Alok Bhattacharya and is asking, how can someone improve the balance between empathy and challenge? That is, someone is biased towards, a certain quadrant, then how do you move away from that?
Very good question. And this is like, how do you build your muscles? How do you build your muscles? Daily, practicing daily. This is how you build. This is like muscle memory. Courage is like muscle. Yeah, right? You have to build it. And when you start building it, my dear friend, it hurts. Right? When you start building it, it hurts. So when it hurts, stop it. No. When it hurts, do it more often. Right? So practice every day and do it more often.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nagesh.
Thank you so much, Harshika.
You actually are a pro in this, we can anytime throw a just after lunch session to you and you know how to set the right tone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank again Scrum.org. I would like to thank Agile Wow. I would like to thank Sanjay Sani, being a great friend and great colleague. I would like to also thank all the panelists. You guys are doing a great job for putting up such a great show. So I am also encouraging everyone to leverage this experience and opportunity. And thank you so much. Everybody stay safe, stay home, and I hope you enjoyed my short talk.
Thank you, Nagesh. I think take a 5 minutes break and then we'll resume with Barry's session.
Absolutely.